When I was in Albany, I met a German backpacker who told me he spent 2 weeks in Denham on Shark Bay, living solely on fish he'd caught off the pier. He said it was the best fishing he'd ever experienced. I wanted to try my own hand at catching my lunch, and also needed to find a place to do some solder work on a faulty blinker. I cruised the industrial area looking for an electrician. I met George, a POM who came out to Australia as a lad. He lived on his lot, caring for his wheelchair-bound wife. He had a bus all set up to head up the coast like I was. "Where you camping tonight?" he asked me. "Just somewhere on the outskirts of town," I said. "You can camp out back here if you want." I took up his offer, and that night he invited me to share a meal of beef stew and home-brewed dark ale. I boasted that tomorrow I would take care of lunch, catching a feed of fresh fish from the local pier. That morning I woke to the familiar sound of a charm of zebra finches, a bird I'd kept as a kid. They are well suited to this desert country, being one of the fastest maturing bird species in the world. Apparently they also sing to their eggs, telling their progeny to slow down their development if the season is particularly hot. Shark Bay was first explored by the Dutch in 1660, was named by the British in 1699, and also visited by the French in 1772, 2 years after Captain Cook claimed the east coast for England. I got some bait and spent the morning feeding fish, only catching 2 puffer fish, which offer no culinary value at all. But I was lucky in that a local fishing boat arrived around lunchtime, and I purchased a kilo of freshly caught whiting for a mere $8 a kilo. We cooked it up in a fry pan with a little butter, flour and seasoning, and ate the golden fillets in buttered buns with a squeeze of lemon and mayo. Delicious. I head to Monkey Mia, where in the late 50s fishermen started feeding one dolphin called Charlie. The whole thing has turned into a big tourist attraction now, very controlled and very regimented. The reasoning for this is that apparently feeding wild dolphins is not really good for them, and was leading to an 80% infant mortality rate. Now, better understanding and feeding restrictions have supposedly turned things around, with 80% of the youngsters now making adulthood. I wonder what they think when they stare at us. A whole new group of gawking eyes arriving every day. Rowena, who I met in Bustleton, was infamously known as the Dolphin Woman. Every time she went for a swim, dolphins would swarm around her. She told me dolphins are telepathic and may approach you if you send out positive vibes to them. I entered the water, put out a friendly message, and sure enough 2 dolphins swam right past me. I was a bit disappointed though. They could have at least made eye contact, or done a tail flip or something. I hit the road and notice a change in the environment, the red earth of the desert country. I see wild goats and birds I've only ever seen in books, a black mass of red-tailed black cockatoos. Just on sunset, I enter a designated 24-hour campsite full of grey nomads and van life backpackers. I search for a suitable tent site, but see too much toilet paper littering the ground for my liking, so decide to find my own solitary camp a little bit up the road. Just the way I like it, waking up to the sounds of nature. It's a cold night, which takes me a little bit by surprise, given the scorching daytime temperatures. A morning dew revealing the intricacies of numerous spider webs.